How to cope with loneliness in a relationship. At some point in time, everyone would have experienced what it feels like to be lonely. No matter how strong you are, loneliness can come anytime. Being lonely is not just an emotion reserved for those who are single or alone, it is experienced by single, married, divorced, man, woman, child, young, old, in fact everyone. But there are ways to work through it, and not just to work through it but survive it. Do you know that even people on long-term relationships experience loneliness? Oh yes, I have been with my wife for over 2 decades, and yes, I get lonely sometimes. It's very common that people find themselves in long-term relationships feeling lonely. There are many reasons why people in a relationship can be lonely, because something isn't working in the relationship itself, or because they look to their partner to fill a void that they've been carrying within themselves even before they met the person or started the relationship. The fact is, no one can completely make you happy but you yourself. Whatever the reason is, here are a few pointers as to why you may feel this way, explain why you might be feeling this way, and provide ways to address the root of the loneliness you may be experiencing. What makes people feel lonely in their relationship? This is a phase one have been through, and from experience, one reason for feeling lonely could be that your relationship is not working as well as it once did. When people are dissatisfied with their family lives, private lives with partners, they feel lonely all or most of the time. It also appears as if more and more people are unable to close the void with material things anymore. This sense of loneliness can often take place when a couple has lost their emotional connection to each other. Not very healthy, but it happens and you can overcome it. It's a matter of tracing why you are lonely and getting to know the cause on time. Let me add here that even in the very best of relationships, there are going to be those times when one or both partners may have drifted apart and feel somewhat distant and estranged from one another. You know why? Because people change, and when they don't grow together, unrest sets in. When a partner is also to be vulnerable or does not have the capacity to be, this can also contribute to feelings of loneliness within romantic relationships. When you want to be macho or show strength and you use that as a reason not to communicate or express your feeling, share things hurting, this can be very risky. Do you know it's possible to claim to be close to someone yet they know nothing about you? Think about it. There is also the problem of the way social media has been allowed to put so much hype and pressure on relationships. Comparing your relationship to ones you see on social media is pure suicide. And this alone is a major factor these days. When you see couples celebrate each other's birthday, Valentine, or something, you see the way they spend, flash wealth, and use loving poses. You on the other hand may feel it's all real, meanwhile it's fake. So why allow yourself feel this way? And then to add insult to injury, you or partner spend the whole day on social media. How will it work? Who will do the work? Why won't you feel lonely? Of course, I have also discovered that there are some people who have what is called a heritable trait, and these sets of people may be genetically predisposed to feel loneliness throughout their lives. No can take away your loneliness, only you can. If you keep relying on some feeling or someone to come and wipe away the loneliness, that will be hard. You need to find the way to acquire inner peace. How do you know if the loneliness stems from you or your relationship? It may be difficult to determine the root of your lonesomeness, especially if your emotional state of mind is clouded with so much. But the first step should be to talk to your partner about how you feel. While making this conversation, your partner is able to point to concrete and clear examples of ways they regularly or have been trying to make you feel emotionally fulfilled, and yet you still can't shake feeling lonely, probably due to insecurity or self-confidence issues. Then it may be safe to say it's probably more something within, rather than coming from the other person. The problem may just be you. If that is the case, take a closer look at your past relationships to determine if the feelings you are experiencing are a pattern rather than isolated to this particular relationship. If you talk to your partner and they're also experiencing feelings of loneliness, it's likely that the relationship is the culprit and the issue needs to be fixed, or else the lonely feeling will never fade. Strange to say that loneliness is contagious. Take a look at the feelings within your relationship. Is it more when you are together? Do you feel this when in a new relationship or after a long while? Check the connection between the both of you and be sure you are not drifting apart. How do you overcome feeling lonely in a relationship? If after the talk or discussion and you discover the loneliness stems from your relationship and you're hoping to get back on track, it's time to have another talk with your partner immediately. I would advise that the very first thing to do is to become self-aware of what you are feeling and then to approach your partner and begin what will probably be a series of conversations. It may be an emotionally stressful one, but you need to say what needs to be said. You may wonder how you can have this discussion yet again without making your partner feel judged or defensive. It's important to come from a place of vulnerability when you're explaining how you feel and to use a non-accusatory tone and language. Let's say for instance you have to really start this conversation. You can start with, "Femi, I want to trust you with what's happening with me right now. I've been feeling somewhat neglected recently, and I don't want you to hear it so much as blame, as just more my experience." And take the conversation from there. Then, listen to your partner's point of view. If they are on the same page about wanting to mend the relationship, you can have a series of conversations geared towards figuring out what may be damaged in your relationship and how to fix it. And if you need a little extra help with communication or coming up with solutions, maybe some counseling from trusted friend or experienced counselor will help. You greatly need wisdom and skills that can diffuse the situation rather than worsen it. Be wise. If, however, your partner really is doing everything to make you feel fulfilled and the loneliness is something that exists within yourself, you might be someone who tends to look for external ways to quell your loneliness, then it means you have to be disciplined enough to first of all admit, accept and get help for it. While it may seem counterintuitive, the solution for loneliness is not necessarily to surround yourself with people. The key to handling it is to confront it, as said earlier, admit, accept and handle. When you confront it, then that is the first step to getting the root cause and addressing it, for a better, happier and more fulfilled life. I wish you all the best. Remember to visit our official website at naturalhealingguides.com for more motivational and natural health video. Click subscribe and notification icon to be notified when we upload new videos.